What it do, KTTV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And on today's episode, we have Mr. Raekwon Washington and Mr. Desmond Pittman of Kingdom Kids Empowerment Program. How y'all doing today, fellas?
Good, doing good.
Hey, man, I want to say thank y'all, man, for taking some time to come and talk about the awesome work that y'all doing in the community, man, at the program. Even for you, Mr. Raekwon, to just, give your piece about the program and everything that's happening on the north side of Houston, Texas.
It's pretty much like a good way to bring everybody together, bring the kids somewhere to do something on their time off, on their off time, just to have fun and be free, be around other kids their age.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so I look forward to, like I say, jumping into that. And before we do dive into things, man, through the pandemic, I want to say, how have you all been? And how y'all staying safe with everything going on?
Pretty much. I mean, I just been staying in the house. I haven't been really just going out too much, being with friends. If you come to the house, you see me. You don't see me too much outside.
Yeah, man. Not outside, man. And then y'all got the mask. Got to keep the mask up when you go out there. It's been real. It's been real, man. I guess as we jump into it, Mr. Pittman, can you give me a little bit of background about you and how you got into this work?
Yes, sir. So I graduated college in 2009 from Louisiana. And after an unsuccessful tryout with the New Orleans Saints, I was pretty much out of options. I didn't have any choice, but I had a college degree. I never dreamed of being a teacher, being in education, but I come from a long line of educators. My mother has been teaching for nearly 40 years now. My sister is a principal. My other sister works for the District of Spring, and my brother is a girls basketball coach at Northwestern University, Louisiana. Yes, sir. So it was kind of paved out for me. So I moved out here and I gave it a try, and I started with Cyfair ISD back in 2009. I worked there for 2 years as a paraprofessional, and I just fell in love with what I was doing, working with kids. You know, there was one specific kid, his name was Antoine Ridge, who basically changed my life. He was a second grader and would come to school with gang signs cutting his head. You know, he was that kid that everybody wanted to follow and look up to, and he enjoyed getting in trouble. But when I came into the building, it seemed like he wanted to do something different. He wanted to do what I was doing. He wanted to dress nicer. He wanted to carry himself better. So then I saw my ability to impact young men and kids as a whole, so I decided to stick with it and see it grow.
Okay, I can dig that, man. And fast forward. Now, how long you been in the game?
Since 2009.
Okay, yeah, man, that's like me. I started as a para 2001. And 2008 I graduated finally. And man, I started teaching, dude. And like I say, I went to College Station, went to grad school, came back, and in 2013 to now, same school as a teacher, then the administrator. So man, that grind is real, man.
It is. It takes a lot of sacrifice and discipline and accountability. So those same things that I've been using to get me through a master's program, through principal certification, and into my doctorate program, that's the same things I teach my shorty that applies in their life.
Yes, sir. And so that brings me to, the Kingdom Kids program. Okay, so where is it located? And how long have y'all been going, and how did it come about, matter of fact?
So the Kingdom Kids Empowerment Complex is located on the campus of the Community of Faith Baptist Church. And of course, that's led by the Honorable Bishop James Dixon II. And there's a school attached to it as well. The name of the school is Dominion Preparatory School and Child Development Center. So from the private school, we adapted it to a full-day community center so we can have kids of all ages on campus. Furthermore, we can provide resources to adults in the community.
Is it people from the church, or do y'all do like outreach in the community to get people to sign up?
It's a combination. So it's a combination of Pittman Sports Association, that is my nonprofit I started in 2016. It's a mixture of Good Game USA Kids, that's a national program, and it's also a mixture of the kids from the church and their parents. So on any day, we could see from 75 to 150 kids.
And this right in Acres Home?
Right there in Acres Homes,
Come on.
Pinemont, 1023 Pinemont.
Come on, man. That is awesome, brother. And so now,
Sure.
as y'all do this, what type of
Mhm.
activities do you focus on with the kids, and what were y'all doing before the pandemic hit?
So before the pandemic hit, we were still focused on doing a private school thing, pre-K through 5, full day, with the after-school programs, summer programs, and weekend programs. But once the pandemic hit, I called the emergency meeting with everybody. Said, hey, we have to do something different because the fall, and this was back in February, Marches. I knew the fall was going to look completely different. So we started to plan for those kids who won't have anything to do during the day, but their parents have to go to work. I know that parents does not want to leave their middle school, high school kid alone at home, right? So I know I needed some kind of safety net or some kind of safe place for the kids to be able to come, and also start to hook up outreach services such as tutoring, such as in-home interactive learning lessons, so at least parents can have a track of what their kids are doing while they're not there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Making a difference, man. And so, Mr. Waquan, how much of Mr. Pittman's program affected you to keep you on that track to get where you at right now?
I mean, a lot because I don't have a lot of father figures or men to look up to. So I mean, he's been in my ear for a long time, and he kept me going through a lot of stuff. He's a big force for me.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And so, as we talk about kids, and you think about the things that he's implementing in you, for somebody who wants to do what you're doing, they want to play this ball, and it's real easy to get thrown off by outside factors. What would you tell them, brother?
I mean, if you want it, you got to stay on track and stay on the straight line. You can't look at everything that's distracting and everything that's appealing to you. So, I mean, it's a discipline thing. You got to start early.
Yes, sir. So that second word that he said, discipline, that's something that I've been on because he's been around me since he was in seventh grade, and now he's going to his second year in college. And it's about 10 or 15, the young men that I've kept up with over the years, and I just continue to push into them two things: drive and discipline. You got to have a drive to get to where you're going. You got to have the discipline to stay driven.
With the pandemic, um, let's say I see this. I'm a parent. I got a son, and I want him to get tuned in. Are you doing anything online? And if so, how do people access that?
Yes, sir. So we're going to launch our Boys to Men, specifically because you said a young man. So we have a Boys to Men program with about 10 professional men, 2 college professors, 2 doctors, business owners, and just everyday hardworking men. And we're going to do online guidance counseling. We're also going to do coaching videos and also academics to keep up with the kids' schoolwork, because we know when it was school time, they really didn't want to do much work anyway. So let alone having the comfort of being at your home and having to, compete with Instagram. I'm sure those parents are going to be, pretty much back against the wall. So, yes, sir.
That's cool, man. And so I seen that there was a mental health aspect to the program.
Yes.
And so since being a part of that program and doing it in Acres Home, how have you seen the expression of kids in the community, man, be able to talk about their feelings? And so how do you manage that part?
So my program, I cover more areas than Acres Homes. I'm from Cypress Station, which is 45 North, up a little bit to Northborough, which is basically the backyard, to Greenspoint, all the way down to Acres Homes. So I've worked with kids in those areas for over a decade. And with the anger management, mental health part, we have what's called a trauma program. The restoration, addressing unfortunate memories afterwards. A lot of our young men, they have a lot of anger that's in their hearts that stem from childhood experiences, the childhood letdowns, or whatever the childhood life was like, and we hold on to that anger and that pain, and the way we express it through our anger. So just teaching the young men that let's find the root cause of your anger, talking about that problem, talking it through. But more so than that, what I would like to put on Front Street is our boxing program. We have a partnership with CDM Boxing Gym in Greens Point Mall. Those guys there are legendary. Coach Fred, Coach Mo. So I would bring the young men to the boxing gym and let those men as well usher into their life and also train them up in the boxing. Because one thing that society shuns on is boxing. I don't know why. In the school system, we'll let people learn karate, we'll let them learn martial arts and all kind of things. But when you say boxing, it's a no-no. But for our young men, that is the single best activity that can help that mental, social, emotional health. Football is fine, basketball is fine, but you're relying on other people. When you're in the ring, it's just like life, right? You have to listen to everything, right? I might tell my boys the same thing for 10 years, and they might get it after 10 years. When he steps in the ring, because he's the best boxer, when he steps in the ring, all I got to tell him is one time, Raekwon, keep that right hand up. Because if he don't keep that hand up, he can smack. So it's those life lessons that we teach in the ring that I think will have a big change on society. And I want more people to jump on CDM Boxing Gym in Greens Point Mall because we're doing good things back there.
If I want to sign up to get in the program, what's the contact information, man?
Right now we have goodgameusa.org. That is our national program to where parents from all over can sign their kids up, and there's chapters nationally. But for right now, I would like for people to contact me via LinkedIn or through my email address. That way I can know specifically what program the parent will be looking for and start to kind of tailor-made that kid's experience for them. It's almost like writing an IEP, right? Every kid is going to have something tailored to them that they might fit into a group, but it's still tailored for the individual. So contact me via LinkedIn or contact me via email. That way we go back and forth. You don't go into a sign-up box.
I can dig that. And what's the email?
It's Pittman_sports@yahoo.com.
Okay, man. And as we close this thing out, as a veteran educator, we got a lot of trauma going on with educators. They getting ready to start. We got some first years who're gonna start teaching the career online. So what kind of words of encouragement or wisdom would you give to educators who getting started right now?
What I would tell educators who are just getting started right now and educators that's been in the game forever is almost the same thing. Coming into a new teacher, a lot of times you know the landscape of teaching. You understand the political aspect of it and the shortcomings of it. What I would say is opposite of what Flavor Flav taught us as a child. Don't try to fight the power, right? Because the powers that be, they will be. So all of the funding issues that we're having, the lack of resources, the lack of quality teachers in your neighborhoods that's low socioeconomic status, don't worry about that. Don't get caught up in that political aspect of teaching. You go to your class and you treat every child like it's your child sitting in there. And then on top of that, after school, you're going to know the kids that need a little bit more help. You know the kids that kind of going to go and get in trouble after school. Start off with a small focus group, 5 to 10 kids. Keep up with those kids, become a part of their life, meet their family, and that's the connection between school and community, and that's community outreach building out.
Yes, sir. I love that, man, because that's like that's the motto for the channel, man. It's bridging the gap between the school and the community, man. And so, like, I've even had some parents on here for Teacher Appreciation Week just talking about stuff. So I understand totally where you're coming from, man. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. Mr. Raekwon, as we close it out, man, is there any last words you want to give, man, for anybody who's struggling with not playing this year, man? What you going to tell all these high school kids, man, who want to play too, man?
Just stay dedicated.
Hey.
Stay dedicated.
Stay dedicated.
And then never leave my brother.
Okay. I love it, bro.
So that's what we doing back here. You see who we repping for,
Yes,
Trey
sir.
Vaughn,
Yes, sir. We got to it this time, man.
Is it just us?
No. Hey, man.
We know the answer, and we know what we got to do. It starts through education, right? They cannot take an education away from you, and they can't stop you from getting your education regardless of where you are. Education and reading, baby.
Yes, sir. That's why I tell my kids all the time. It's not a job that's going to get you out of poverty. It's having that education.
Hey, Mr. Thomas, I appreciate you taking time, inviting me on your show, inviting my young man on your show. We here representing from New Orleans to North Borough, and that's how we doing it.
This is KT for KT TV signing out. 100.